Everybody, this is Venus Brown. I am back to do a reaction and recap of Season 2, Episode 2 of Derry Girls. So, let's see what this crazy bunch is up to this time.
Enchanting Child of Prague.
Jesus is away.
Why's he got a big red hound?
Nobody knows.
It was the bishop's wish that he be passed around all the schools in the Derry diocese. Therefore, we are joined this morning by Mr. Malone, headmaster of St. Benedict's, so that the handover ceremony can take place. You're very welcome, Mr. Malone. Though I fear you may have had a wasted journey. I've thought about it, and I'd much rather just hold on to him, actually. He brightens up my office. He doesn't answer back. I like the fella. And if the bishop has a problem with that, he can take it up with me. Now, what else was there? Yes. Sadly, Sister Patrick has decided to leave us. She's returning to her missionary work, educating the heathen inhabitants of a primitive and savage place.
She's taken a teaching post in Belfast, sister.
Precisely. The Board of Governors promised me that her replacement would arrive today, but as usual, they were talking out of their...
I believe you've been expecting me. What is it you want to do? Get pushed?
I'd quite like some feedback on the poetry assignment, actually. It counts towards our final grade, people.
This is 12A, right?
That is correct, miss.
And you are?
Jenny Joyce.
Here we go. The Flyer by Jenny Joyce.
You're not going to read it out, are you?
Of course. Poetry should always be read aloud. Some flowers are tall, some flowers are small. Some flowers barely grow at all. Okay.
That's not the end.
It should be. Here's a poem about a dog. Here's another one about a dog. This one has no name on it. An English rose among thorns. Yeah, I can see why you might want to remain anonymous, all right. Dog poem. Poem about a tree. This one's called Boys. I think boys are really class, especially the ones who have a nice ass. It's called haiku. That's not what I would call it. Dog poem. Dog poem. Oh, here someone's just drawn a picture of a dog. That is not bad, actually.
Thank you very much.
This person has written about how much they love their English class in an embarrassing attempt to suck up to the teacher. Dog poem. Dog poem. Cat poem. Yes.
I think a lot of people in this class, and I don't know who will mind me saying this, well, they have a very basic grasp of the creative process. Whereas I've been writing for years, so I'm really not afraid to put myself out there. To be bold. To take risks.
And you are?
That's my cousin, Erin Quinn.
Erin Quinn. Here we go. The bullets fired on the streets as I lie in my bed are nothing to the bullets being fired in my head.
It's about the troubles, in a political sense, but also about my own troubles in a personal sense.
No, I understand the weak analogy. This isn't bold, Erin. It's someone failing to be bold.
I'm sorry if the subtleties of my work were lost on you, Mr. Bryn.
Poetry is truth. And great poetry is raw and real and messy and glorious and ugly. It is dragged from the depths of the soul. It helps us understand each other and ourselves. Do you get what I'm saying?
Lovely, Jay.
I thought it'd be nice for us to do something together. Sarah, what are you doing here?
Mary said you were having a wee night to yourself, so I thought you might want some company.
Why? Why would you think that?
Sarah! Night to
Himself as well, is it? Great.
Sweet Jesus.
Hiya, how are ye?
I don't let you smoke in here, Kieran. Can you credit it?
This is a nice surprise. When Sarah asked me to the cinema, I thought she meant just the two of us.
No, Kieran, because that would be, what's the word now? Normal.
Double date it is then, so.
Wonder what's keeping Daddy.
Excuse me? I've got the tickets.
We haven't decided what we want to see yet,
Well, I like the look of that one with all the lads in the lineup. It's got your man in it, the farmer from Glenroe.
What, Gabriel Byrne?
He's done a fair bit since Glenroe now.
I hear you. His agent?
Dad, I don't understand this. You hate the cinema?
Oh, not since I discovered it's the only way I can spend time with our Colin. It's the one place the boring bastard doesn't talk.
But Colum's not here, is he, Dad? that.
And that's not to say now that in my younger years I didn't enjoy boiled sweet. Well, didn't he choke to death on one? A hair drop, I think it was. Or a clove rock, maybe, but either way, that's not how I'd want to go.
I know, love. I know.
I'm afraid we're going to have to carry out a wee evacuation. So if you'll all follow me. Lovely.
Evacuation.
Great stuff.
That's the last time I let you organise a night out.
Okay then.
What about this Kaiser Soze fella? Who's Kaiser Soze? Exactly.
Here's what I have so far. You know we belong together, you and I, forever and ever. No matter where you are, you're my guiding star.
Isn't that the theme tune to Home and Away?
Is it? Oh, for God's sake!
Someone who's on Alex Baldwin.
What with the bad legs covering for him, Dad? Sweet Jesus.
Mum, maybe we can explain.
Not the Christmas cupboard. It's been an absolute free-for-all. Your mothers will be hearing about this. Oh, for fucking into you girls. You know you don't touch the Christmas cupboard.
We're stressed. Our new English teacher made us rip up all our poems and redo them in one night.
Who is this blowing?
Her name's Mr. Broom. She's a bit of a bitch, but cracking a liner.
Winged or smudged?
Sort of both.
Interesting.
She wrapped up your poems. She said we weren't writing from the soul.
Well, why and under God weren't you writing from the soul?
Seriously.
Have you ever stopped to look at these? These faces from the past? They're not so different from you, really.
Something you hate, something you despise, no holding back. Come on! I don't stop! Okay!
Being late for school. Piano lesson.
For the people here, use the word we to describe things that aren't even actually that small. Stop it, I love an accent,
She's changed my life, she really has.
She likes my accent.
I die for her. I think I would too, you know.
Me too.
I fucking why not?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I totally agree, I'd die for her as well, but also conscious of the fact we've only known her like 2 days.
And
Well, it's a bit weird, she's invited us round to her house at night.
what do you mean?
Well, she's a teacher.
She's much more than a teacher.
Yeah, what's that supposed to mean?
It means you need to listen the fuck up.
I am loose, thank you very much.
Basically, you're a crack killer.
Not a crack killer. I am not a crack killer! Happy again.
Okay. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch, which I've got hold of for the moment. And I want to make it burn as brightly as possible.
That's beautiful.
Sure. It's my favourite quote.
Take it easy, Oliver Reed.
What's yours?
Be careful, child, of the doll made of glass. For if you hold her too tightly, she will break and you will bleed.
I don't think I'm familiar with that one. Who's it by?
Me, it's by me.
Wow.
You were at her house? At night? Well, that's a bit inappropriate.
Your ma is a bit inappropriate.
That doesn't even make sense.
Your ma doesn't even make sense.
Is she drunk?
Your ma's drunk.
Okay.
It's not in the listings anymore, love.
What?
The cinema stopped showing it.
Oh, well done.
It's not my fault.
Ah, sure, nothing ever is.
What are we going to do?
Wait for them to release it on video.
I can't, Derry. I can't go on like this. I need to know.
Take a seat, please, ladies.
Where's Mr. Bryn?
Gone. She's not coming back.
What? I knew it. When I woke up this morning, I had a feeling something terrible was going to happen, and also that essentially deep down I'm quite an evil person.
It's called a hangover, Claire. You'll be grand.
I will be taking this class for the rest of the term, which makes me want to pull off my own face, but needs must.
This was you, wasn't it? What did you do? What did you say?
I don't know what you're talking about. So you don't sipper grass.
That's quite enough.
You don't understand, sister. Mr. Bryn,
She touched us.
What?
she made us think. She made us feel.
Oh, thank God. That would be all I need.
You can't sack her, you just can't.
Miss Quinn, you appear to be under the misapprehension that you can address me as though you are my equal.
I don't know about this one. I think it looks a bit fat on it.
Yeah, that's not flattering.
Right, maybe if I just tilt him this way a bit.
See, I think he needs to come forward a bit.
It was fine where it was, Deco.
Look, I'm the one telling the phone.
Fuck off! I thought we had an intruder, and I'll tell you what, he'd have been a sorry boy. I just nailed some serious moves.
We were just working on our English project, sister.
Step aside. What in God's name have you done?
Why could you have Glenn's head on upside down, Orla? It's a round hat, for Christ's sake.
Quiet!
To be honest, sister, and I'm not just saying this, I think he looks better.
He looks like his head's on upside down. And I'll be suspending them for a week.
Oh, please, God, no!
A week? We're going to be stuck with them for a week? Be reasonable, sister. We didn't behead the fella. By Christ, you're in for it here.
It was an accident, Mom.
Oh, so you accidentally wrote a ransom note, did you?
Okay, that wasn't an accident. But we were so upset by what happened to Mr. Brown. It was wrong. She shouldn't have been sacked.
She wasn't?
What?
Sorry to interrupt, sister, but if I could just grab the old P45 and I will be out of your way.
Excuse me?
Mr. Broom has decided to leave us.
I got offered a post in St. Dominic's Girls. Better wages, holiday pay, great pension. The works. I couldn't say no, really.
But what happened to living for the moment? What happened to life should be spontaneous?
Yeah, I know, but I'm buying a house and the mortgage rates are absolutely crippling at the minute.
Tell me about it.
Desperate. Part of the reason I became a nun. Free accommodation.
But Mr. Brown, you inspired me to do my greatest work.
I see. Which was...
Boom! A glass doll, Boom. She's a doll made of glass. She's a glass doll. I read it to you last night.
Yeah, I wasn't really listening, to be honest.
Like Kaiser Soze.
Fellow with the bad leg.
What?
Kaiser Soze. He was the fellow with the bad leg. He was talking absolute shite the whole time. He was one of those, unreliable narrators.
Well, that's very clever.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Look this way, girls.
Seems to be a thing for them. They seem to get themselves into these positions where they're like, this is the messed up thing we've done. Here's our next mug shot. Or, not mug shot, but still. Oh my gosh. That was season 2, episode 2 of Derry Girls. Another hilarious episode. And Sister Michael again bringing on some laughs and being strict when she needed to. Loved that. The kids, they lose one of their teachers at the beginning, and a new one comes in. And so they get this new teacher, and she's different. She makes them look at things differently. She makes them think about things differently. She's very inspiring, and so they really like her. I really loved when they started to kind of mimic her and imitate her a little bit. Like, some kids do when they see somebody that they really like or they're inspired by. And all of them put eyeliner on like the teacher, which I thought was great. I thought James looked great. So Mary and Jerry, they decide to go to the movies to have a little time alone. And apparently when Sarah heard this, she decided that, maybe they'll want some company rather than understanding that they want some time to be alone with each other and nobody else. So she invites herself and her double date, but then not only that, she invites Grandpa, and Grandpa's got Uncle Colum with him, and remember Uncle Colum's the one with the really dull monotone voice who kind of just is very boring and sucks the energy out of the room kind of thing. So that was kind of amusing. While they're in the movies, it gets cut short because they do an evacuation, so they don't get to see the rest of the movie. And of course that leaves Mary in this position where she really wants to know, like, who is this character in the movie that's causing these issues, and she doesn't know, and the movie's not going to be playing anymore. I like some spoilers. Something like that I probably would want to know. And especially when you don't have internet back then, you don't have the ability to just go and look it up and watch it whenever you want or anything like that. And even when you do, back when I was watching Walking Dead, and Glenn was stuck under that trash can at the end of the season, I definitely went looking for whatever information I could find until I did finally hear people saying that they suspect he is probably going to stay alive. And I was very happy to hear that. But it was definitely something I really went out of my way to look for. There are some things where I won't do that. Like, I don't want a lot of spoilers. I just want certain things. And sometimes it is those main plots of what's going on. Sometimes it's like a big spoiler that I want. But sometimes I don't want that. In fact, I was looking at a YouTube list of Derry Girls reactions, but when I was scrolling through the list, I definitely got some spoilers that I think were pretty big that also gave me a bit of an emotional reaction. But I think with my short-term memory issues, it probably won't be a big deal by the time I do watch those episodes. I am assuming that I will have forgotten a lot of that, so enough of it that it will still be surprising. So I will still look forward to that. The kids are excited by this new teacher, and the teacher invites them out to her house pretty late, and Claire does something that I think a lot of teenagers, you don't want to be, like, a lot of times you don't want to be called out on those things that maybe other people see as flaws, and she's called out for needing to loosen up. And this seems to happen a lot with the kids with James, with Claire, with Aaron. Like they go through these moments where somebody will call them out for being the way that they are, and they will try to prove that wrong, which I definitely remember trying to do that a few times when I was a teenager, trying to just like not liking something somebody said about me, knowing that it was something that I didn't like, and trying to counter it. Maybe trying to somewhat prove to myself that was different, but also trying to show other people that, oh no, I can be a different way. So yeah, Claire gets called out and told she needs to loosen up, and when she's offered alcohol, at first she starts to say no, and then she changes her mind because she remembers how she was called out for needing to loosen up, and she drinks a lot, very fast. And if you're somebody who has not drank, who's never drank, or even if somebody who has drank but hasn't drank in a long time, drinking a lot like that, and especially drinking that fast, that will really mess you up. So they get caught later on by Jenny outside, and Claire is super drunk, and she's hilarious. So she makes a fool out of herself. But the next day they go into class, and the teacher's not there, and Sister Michael has taken her position, and it looks like the teacher's been canned. But as we find out later on, she wasn't canned, she left. And it's kind of funny when they were talking about her taking this new position, that it kind of goes against what she was saying, going by the spur of the moment, that kind of thing, just, living life. I thought it was kind of was spur of the moment. Like, she had just taken that position, she enjoyed it for a little while, like a day or two, and then she goes and takes this other position. So to me that was but it was for a pension. It was for things that indicate settling down and trying to put down some roots for a while. So I get why that would be considered not a spur of the moment. So yeah, Sister Michael she's taking over the position of the class, and she says she's taking over for the remainder of the year. And the kids get this great idea that they're going to come in later on while Sister Michael's at judo, and they're going to pretend that this little baby Jesus statue that they presented at the beginning of the show is kidnapped. Based off these ideas that James got from watching the movie Goodfellow. So they're going to pretend that they kidnapped this statue, and they do all these things that he's seen in Goodfellow. And while they are, doing what they do, engaging in their shenanigans, they start kind of fighting over what to do with the statue, and it falls. And I'll tell you what, when that statue fell, I really thought it broke a lot more. It sounded like it broke a lot more than what it did, but it turned out that it mostly broke the head off. Maybe if they had some time, they probably would have been able to glue it on properly. But Sister Michael comes in from judo, and they don't have the time to fix it at all. And so apparently it sounded like Orla had super glued the doll's head on upside down, and it looked absolutely hilarious. I was just dying when I saw that. But yeah, obviously that didn't go well, like many of the other situations that these kids get themselves into. So they bring in all the parents again, and that's when they find out that that the teacher did not get canned, that the teacher in fact took a different position. That was season 2, episode 2. I will try to get to the next episodes fairly soon. I do have a reaction and discussion video of the House of the Dragon. I have that sitting in my YouTube account. I just need to trim it up, and then I'll publish it. Probably 3 or 4 episodes of Derry Girls I should be able to get to fairly soon and get them out in the next couple days or so. It was nice to do this, and it's nice to get comments and everything from other people, so feel free to leave comments if you want to, and I will see you again next time. Bye!